And we're back, here in Skyrim. That's right, we've been away. Can you guess where we've been? Of course it's Bruma. We've been to Bruma and we have had a great time. That's right, the Beyond Skyrim Bruma mod was released and I've just finished playing it, and all I can say is wow. Now, if for some reason you have not heard of this project, Beyond Skyrim is a massive endeavour that is attempting to rebuild Tamriel around Skyrim, or I suppose more specifically below it. Some of it's to the side, but you get the idea. They're trying to expand the world that you can play in the game Skyrim to beyond the borders of the land of Skyrim. This mod obviously starts in the Cyrodiil area, which is south of Skyrim in the Bruma County. This is the closest to Skyrim, so it was the obvious one. You actually go there via a gate that is found in the south of Skyrim, and honestly, I have to say, it feels pretty seamless. It doesn't feel like a mod. It almost feels like it was always supposed to be there. You just travel to the gate and you can go through. There is another way in, but I will leave that for you to find. But overall, this could have been a part of the base game from the start. That is how it feels, and indeed, the entire mod is so well done, it actually feels like it could have been an expansion pack, except for certain areas where it is incomplete, and I will talk about those. The landscape itself is really well done. I'm talking professional level of detail. It's very believable, it suits the game, and there is a sort of transition from the northern parts to the southern parts that feels perfectly natural. You kind of get the feeling that you're in Skyrim when you first enter with the mountains and the snow, but as you go further south it starts to feel warmer and completely different. And it really helps that the music is subtly different to Skyrim. It fits the game, but it feels, well, it feels very familiar if you've ever played Oblivion. And all I can tell you is when the music starts playing at certain points, if you've played Oblivion, you are going to have such a pang of nostalgia. Now, having said that, I do want to emphasise that this is not Oblivion. It is not a remake of the game Oblivion, but it is set in Cyrodiil, which is where Oblivion was set. So you will see a lot of places that may feel very familiar, but you have to remember that it's a few hundred years later. Same place, different story. The city of Bruma itself is also incredible. They've done an exceptional job recreating it, and honestly, if you've played Oblivion, I'm going to keep saying this, if you've played it, you're going to run around that city jumping up and down, remembering places, remembering things you did in a previous life. It is just, you have to play it to understand. But it's not just a landscape and a city for you to be a tourist in. There are plenty of things to do around Bruma. There are dungeons, there are bandits, there are just things for you to explore and visit, including Frostcrag's Spire. There are loads of NPCs wandering around the city and the land in general. And it's amazing how well developed the characters are. They all seem to have their own story, and usually they will actually tell it to you. They're very detailed, they're quite believable, and they're, as a whole, generally really well voice acted. This is an area where I actually feel this mod delivers a better experience than the base game. The NPCs are just really fleshed out, and there's a lot more of them compared to, say, the generic NPCs, the guards, and that sort of thing. There's far more named individuals who have a real story, and that makes the place feel really quite alive. And, you know, don't worry, there are tons of dungeons, there are ruins, there are a lot of familiar things for you to explore, to kill, because there are some new monsters as well. There are some monsters that you will remember from Oblivion, and there's just tons and tons of things to do. Now, I must warn you of two things though. These are not actually negatives or bad things about the mod, but they are things that you should take into account. You should tailor your expectations. The first one is the rest of Cyrodiil. You will actually be able to see some places in Cyrodiil that you cannot get to, and it's torture. You can see the Imperial City off in the distance, and you will just want to go there and you can't. There is a sort of an invisible wall effect all around the southern area, and it is a little jarring. I mean, if you compare it to the base game, it's obvious that this is a small part of a bigger project. They haven't managed to find a way to make the boundaries feel natural. They feel very gamey. There's not a lot they can do about that. Eventually, once all the different areas are together, they'll bring it into one great big experience, and the entire land of Cyrodiil should be accessible. But in the meantime, you're going to find yourself stopping at the end of a road, getting a message that you can't go that way, and looking forlornly at the Imperial City and just thinking, oh god, I so want to go. But in a way, that's actually a positive thing. They do such a good job in this mod. You just want more. The second thing you should be aware of is there is no main quest. It's not a quest mod like Falskar or Enderall or various other mods that add new land areas and new quests. They often have a main quest. This one doesn't. It has a hell of a lot of side quests. Some of them fairly big, some of them fairly small, all of them really enjoyable. Some of them are hilarious as well. Some of them are really entertaining, but there's no overall quest that ties it all together or gives you a major reason for... Well, there's no main quest. You know what a main quest is. The thing is this should be expected. Again, they're releasing a small province of Cyrodiil. However, I can tell you, you keep finding references, reading letters, and getting the feeling that there is something planned for the rest of Cyrodiil, and once they have all the other provinces, perhaps they will add a main quest that spans the entire area. That would be really, really cool. But just be aware of this. This is not knocking the mod, because the mod made no promise of this. It's not a quest mod exactly. It's not a whole new land with a war going on like Falskar. It is an extension to the land of Skyrim. It has a lot of things to do. Just bear that in mind when you go there. Overall, this is a spectacular achievement. It is a great mod. There is a hell of a lot of fun to play, but is also just impressive, from the great landscapes, the amazing music, the architecture, the dungeons, the really well done NPCs, the great voice acting, everything about this mod it makes it worth downloading. You should really try this out. If you enjoy Skyrim and you just want to see a little more, or just a little outside of Skyrim and have perhaps a bit of a nostalgia trip, you owe it to yourself to try Beyond Skyrim Bruma. And so we come to the end of this video, and perhaps even this series, because I believe with this playthrough I have actually come to the end of my time in Skyrim. However, it is not as sad as it would sound, because the reason for that is there seems to be movement in Skyrim Special Edition. There seems to be some development with the script extender, and it is more than possible that I will soon be playing Skyrim once more, but this time the Special Edition. And who knows, perhaps I will find some new mods, perhaps I will actually convert some of my other mods, and of course make some videos regarding those mods. I would love it if you could join me for those videos or any of my other videos, and I look forward to seeing you there. But until then, remember as always, have fun.